I know it's been a few days now and you're moving on, but can you give us just a quick recap of what you thought from Marcus Mariota's first crack at it the other night?
Sure, Daniel. It's good to be with you. I think that, first of all, the first interception, the way it started early, it was a little tough. It's always tough on a young quarterback when that happens. And it seemed like there was a lot of factors that led to the problems. But overall, I think after the turnover, the interception, the fumble, he responded very strongly. It was terrific to see him be out there on the field and not let it affect him. And to me, that's what's an important part of playing that position. You got to be able to move past some of those things. The third down and 12 that he converted coming out of our territory, which was the third play after the fumble for a touchdown, where he moved in the pocket and made the throw down the field to Harry Douglas, just to me showed a tremendous amount about what he can be as a quarterback.
Coach, in scouting, they always tell us you want to get out and see those quarterbacks live in college when you're evaluating because there's stuff you can see when you're there in person. And to me, I thought the shot of you and him, it looked like you shared a laugh together after a couple of those turnovers. To me, it just showed that, hey, we'll just flush it and we'll move on. That was a great sign to see from him. Not too high, not too low. How much of an advantage is that for him?
Well, that's one of the things he's really handled himself well since he's been here. I think obviously having won the Heisman, being in a high-profile program, he's faced with a lot of the things that he's faced now, a lot of expectations, certainly a lot of criticisms, and he hasn't let those things bother him. But I think it's funny that you say that because in talking to him during the game, he didn't get too low. And certainly when he had the success on the next drive, it was, yeah, but I can still work on things to get better. So that mentality alone, like you said, I think is something that will allow him to be successful in this league.
Are you a little bit surprised at how solid he's been from under center? I think he only had, 5 snaps under center last year at Oregon. But to me, just watching me the day, I don't see any false steps at the top. He looked really fluid and smooth.
We've gone through a lot of steps, a lot of snaps with him in training camp, in OTAs, and there have been a couple of not so much missed snaps, but missteps, some of the footwork things in doing that. It's a little bit different when you're having to open or you're having to reverse out and get to the right landmarks, especially when you're trying to get the backs to be disciplined in their holes. But he's really done a great job with it. I think we were just off the top of our head since he's been with us, we probably had 350 exchanges, and we haven't fumbled one of them. So, that's a pretty good stat considering he didn't have a lot of experience with that.
How different is it for you as a coach going back to when you were playing? I would imagine when you were playing, maybe there with the Falcons, you didn't have people charting how many throws your quarterback had gone without throwing an interception. It seems like every day we get the daily statistics in the media.
It's unbelievable. I think that it's really kind of over the top. But, I'm glad that so many people are that interested or that excited in this young quarterback. So, it certainly puts a lot of pressure on him to live up to that, but it's funny. It really is funny. I mean, no matter who you are as a quarterback, at some point an interception's coming. But the interception watch and how long that went was quite a big deal.
I want to go to another player on your football team and second-year tackle Taylor Lewan. Just watching him, I think it was on your touchdown run actually in that game, just seeing him out in space and just athletically what he can do. How special can he be?
Well, I tell you what, we only got to see him start last year in 6 games, and he really did a nice job. But, it's hard to say a guy is going to be a great player just based off of that. But he had a really good offseason. He's worked hard. He brings a lot to the table from a leadership perspective. But there was another play in the game earlier, and it was actually on the interception, where he ran the guy down and made a tackle, and he actually looked like a linebacker running in space. That's how athletic he is. And it saved us 4 points because our defense held them and they had to kick a field goal. And, that kind of play can really swing a game by his hustle and his effort. The same thing that you saw on the sweep down on the goal line where he got outside and paved the way for Dexter to get in. So does a great job in protection. He's physical in the run game. His leadership is really growing. So we're just thrilled with his body of work and what we expect from him.
How about your running back position right now?
Yeah, we're definitely young at that position. We had another kid, Antonio Andrews, who we got as a free agent last year. a rookie free agent that has looked good. So I think for us, it's going to be finding out about these guys over the next couple of games. Bishop is gotten a lot better from the standpoint of understanding what we're trying to get out of that position. Unfortunately, he didn't get he was the victim of some mistakes in the blocking schemes, but David Cobb really ran well, and exactly what you saw is the kind of things we've been seeing from him in camp and in that game. He's got good feet, really good vision. He hits it up the field. So we're excited about this group. I know we don't have, a high-name, high-profile veteran guy doing it, but we feel good about these young guys, and I think that's good for us going forward.
One more young guy I want to hit you on real quick here on the outside, Dorial Green-Beckham. I mean, you talk about basketball on grass. He looks like a power forward out there. What have you seen so far early on in his development?
I think he's been set back because he hadn't played a game in 20 months, and seeing him out on the field, you could see some good and some bad. But the one thing that's very apparent is that he has a tremendous amount of talent. You don't see guys with his size that can drop their weight and get out of breaks the way we see him do it. And he obviously can go up and catch it. I think there's a lot about the position, especially at the NFL level, that he's going to have to learn, talking about split discipline, releases against some of these corners, because a lot of these guys are going to try to quick jam him, because if they let him get on them, it's over because he's so big. So he's got to work through some of those things. But I tell you what, he works hard. He's eager to learn. And we're really excited about him because I think as he continues to get it, we've had another young guy, Justin Hunter, who's had a good camp, and Kendall Wright's young at the position. And we've got some talent there, and hopefully we'll see it develop quickly.
Real quick, Coach, on Hard Knocks, I know you've probably been asked this a million times, but they're in your division. I know when I was scouting, we always, if there was a team in our division or we were going to play, we would watch it to see if we could glean anything from it. Do you pay attention to it?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm interested in it. I think we're all fans of the game at some point, and I can't get enough of football. So when I have a chance to watch it, I do. And whether you're able to get something from it or not, I enjoy seeing the people, how they interact, what they talk about. That's all fascinating to me.
So you're just like all of us, just watching it, just taking it all in, almost as a regular viewer.
Yeah, I am. And if you can learn something about maybe how you can get under somebody's skin, that helps too. No, but no, I'm just kidding there, Daniel. But yeah, it is. It's fun to watch. I enjoy doing that, and it's a good show.
Would you do it if they came to you with that opportunity?
Depends on the situation, where we are as a team. I think some of that, when you have a really young team like we do, sometimes that can be tough. But if you've had a team that has been together or has a little bit of an ability to handle those things, I don't have an issue with it.
Well, last question here before I let you go. I mentioned golf real quick. I'll let you weigh in on this. Have you followed at all what Jordan Spieth is doing in this sport right now?
Sure. I mean, it's great. It's great for the sport. I love golf, and it's great to see a young guy like that is so dynamic and such a good young man. That's one of the things that I really appreciate about him. So I was pulling for him. I can't believe, it's really incredible to me with the way golf has gone now, because there's so many young players that are good players, and he was able to have a chance at both the PGA and the British after having won the other two. That's astounding to me. So it's great for the sport, and when you see a guy that handles it so well. One thing that really stood out to me, we got finished with practice, and I happened to see the end of the tournament, and he was competing with Jason Day, and Jason Day had a long putt and got it right up by the hole, and he knew at that point that his chance of winning it was pretty much over, but he was more concerned with saying, "Man, what a great putt! You did a great job," and complimenting him. I thought that was really classy.
It was fun. It was fun golf to watch, and you've got a fun young team with a fun young quarterback to follow. Wish you the best of luck the rest of preseason, Coach. Stay healthy, and we'll catch up with you down the road.
Enjoyed it, Daniel. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks. That's head coach Ken Whisenhunt of the Tennessee Titans.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.